Hey guys, so last week's video, where I covered everything that we should be expecting for the anniversary update that came on Wednesday? You might have noticed the post I put up on YouTube, which was a resharing of a post that was made on Discord. None of it happened, did it? None of what I covered happened whatsoever. No tactical ships, no tier-less ships that any player could jump into. Just none of that. Just none of that. So it was all cancelled, and we're going to find out why today, because this week we not only have patch notes for everything that didn't happen and what we got instead, but we also have a developer Q&A. And when was the last time we got a developer Q&A? So that's what we're going to be doing this week. We're going to do I'm getting tongue twisted there, aren't I? Let's carry on. So this is going to be a traditional weekly roundup format. I've not got Plex prices today. I've not been that proactive. I've been a little bit busy, hence why this is a little bit later uploading than usual. But let's get into it, shall we? So let's head over to the patch notes. And the first thing I'm going to do is set this to a readable mode so that it just fits a bit nicer up on the screen. So patch notes for the 14th of August. So we had a balance update. The Inquisitor Cosmic Anomalies increased their discovery rate by 10%. Other things, Nihilus Space increased by 20%. They're trying to get you to run certain special anomalies more often, which is fair enough. New event, the Voyage Ceremony registration is now open. We have 2 more days, according to this, to actually apply for it. Was it a day and a half? Let's say a day and a half. Yeah, the Voyage Ceremony, don't worry about this, guys. You basically pay Aurum so that your corporation can log in and watch their ships move in a perfectly straight line. That is my understanding of the Voyage Ceremony. It's not had particularly good reputation in the past, so don't worry about that. You can just skip pretty much everything that you see there. I'm not going to read it all verbatim. If you're interested in watching your ships fly in a straight line and it probably get live streamed somewhere, then check it out. But for now, we're just going to skip everything that says the Voyage Ceremony on it, which takes us to the 7-day login. So here we are. We have for an entire week, so we've got a few days left. If you have Omega, and it doesn't have to be Duo Omega, it can be any form of Omega, then you get these login rewards. Now, the most interesting thing about these login rewards, because bear in mind you don't have to pay anything extra for them. If you're already an Omega pilot, you already get the benefit of having all these rewards. The most important thing, though, is on the Omega tier, on day number 7, and bear this in mind, on day number 7, you get an implant option box for the second tier of quality, the blue one. I think it's is it basic or standard? I think it's basic. So you've got green, which is experimental, then blue, which I believe is basic after that. With the blue one, you can actually get your hands on the defense implant. I've forgotten the exact name of it right now. It's probably tactical defense. As I understand it at the moment, that's the most difficult implant to get your hands on. So if you don't have that implant already, or you want to upgrade from green to blue, pick that one. Pick that one. Aerospace Tactics was the first one that drew my attention, and I didn't even scroll down far enough to see Tactical Defense. Someone had to tell me in Corp I was being an idiot for publicly stating, I want that one. Because no, there's a better one. Tactical Defense. Get that one, Hale. And I'm like, yeah, I should read. I really should read. That's why these videos are so helpful, isn't it? Because it helps people who don't bother reading. This is why I used to listen to other people like, oh god, what were they called? Not Benzi, the other two, Jika Forta and Sovereign RPG. This is why I listened to them a lot in the past, so I didn't have to actually read. So let's move along, shall we? So the Lost Waste Seeker fleet returns. So until the 4th of September, the Waste Seeker fleet anomalies that we typically see in places like Cobalt Edge are now actually findable, if that's the right word, across all of New Eden. So these things are spawning all over the place, and they are a little bit more difficult than your typical tongue twister there. They are a bit more difficult than your typical anomaly, For example, let's say you've got a faction battleship. Let's say you've got a bowl gun. I'm using myself as an example here. Let's say you've got a bowl gun. You can typically clear large anomalies perfectly easily. You're tanked to Kingdom Come. In fact, you're probably over-tanked. You've got more tank than a bowl gun has really got any rights to have. You jump into a large Waste Seeker anomaly. It just mows your tank completely. And you've got that much E-War on you that it's just absolutely ridiculous. You have to like primary the NPCs that are warp scrambling you and warp disrupting you just so that you can get away. There's no chance that you can complete it with a regular faction battleship unless you're really cheesing it to Kingdom Come. We're talking kiting at a ridiculous speed with the ability to get rid of the interceptors when they jump on top of you. You might be able to cheese it and, do it that way, but brawling? No, do not brawl. Yeah, I didn't lose my ship, thankfully. I managed to get rid of the little interceptors and fly off. I only lost about 20% hull, so it could have been worse. But anyway, they're not easy. Don't do them on your own in a regular battleship or faction battleship. If you do it in a battleship, be prepared. Be prepared. Okay, cheese it to the best of your ability. So that is the Waste Seekers. With these, you're not in it for the bounty. I don't know what the bounties are like, but you're not in it for the bounty. You're in it for the loot, which is typically exclusive to regions like the Kalevala Expanse, Cobalt Edge, and presumably Ethereum Reach. I've never been in there, so don't quote me on that one. But anyway, you're getting regional exclusive materials all across the map. So do them. Do them. Anniversary celebration up until the 4th of September. So market transaction taxes are reduced, so take advantage of those. It stacks quite well with the accounting skill if you do not have that trained already. Production yield for planetary materials has bumped up 50%. So yeah, it might be worth, if you've got a capsuleer outpost and your fuel bay is filling up ridiculously fast at the moment, I recommend just dialing down the amount of fuel that you're harvesting off of planets and just reallocate it to another resource. Because at the moment, I think I don't know, but that's what I do. That is what I do. I'd probably crop, 30 or 40% if you've got an overabundance of fuel. But let's move along. Insurance system adjustment. So adjusted the free insurance points feature, making it identical to regular insurance points, where both are capable of creating market orders. I think this one's a little bit of a backpedal, because we started off with insurance points being all the same. It didn't matter if you got them via gift or if you bought them yourself. They were the same thing. Then at some point Netease decided to split it, so that instead of it all being the same, you had gift IP and regular IP, and gift IP didn't actually place any orders on the in-game market. And they were trying to do it so that we didn't take advantage of the system. I don't really understand it completely myself. But they seem to have reversed that, so now they're the same again. It appears that they might have done that to avoid it getting completely rigged and manipulated by players, but it just resulted in nothing getting bought off the market by the insurance system. Because there are certain people like me, for example, that have a ridiculous amount of gift IP. I don't know, at least 50% of my insurance points is probably gift IP. I'm pulling that number out my backside here because I honestly don't know. But yeah, that's an interesting one. So let's move along. ISK Exchange Store Optimization lowered the price of most exchange items. Notice how it says most exchange items. If you are interested in the amethyst cones, which are what runs the AI, which you're most likely going to be using up in HiSec, those didn't go down in price, but instead the blue balls, I can never remember the name of them, it's like reverse refactoring something or other, but you know what I mean when I say the blue balls. Those things have actually come down quite significantly in price, because before you didn't bother buying them for risk off of the in-game market. There was just absolutely no point in doing that whatsoever. Because what was it? It was 200 million ISK just to buy one. 200 million. Why would you do it? Just to buy one? Because you typically need 20 at a time. 20. Now it's somewhere around 60 or 70 million ISK. I'm just booting up my phone right now, so if I can get that number before we move on to the next page. But it's a lot more affordable now. A lot more affordable, at least half as expensive. And the idea here is this is meant to be an ISK sink. This is meant to be somewhere where any player in the game can go to spend a bit of ISK when they've got some spare. If there's nothing on the market they want and Netease wants us to actually take ISK out of the system, this is the place to go. But of course, most of these items, they were just a little bit too expensive, like to the point that probably even Wales considered not actually buying anything off of there. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the prices as I've got it up on screen at the moment. And this is like the least technical way of doing it possible, but hopefully the prices are visible. There we go. If not, I'll just read them out quickly. So the important ones: Cloud AI Learning Code Refactoring Permission Free is now 80 million ISK. That's reasonable. That is a lot more reasonable. How much does that come out at, actually, if we got 20 of them? So 20 times 80 million, 1.6 billion to do a complete reroll of a stat on your nanocore. Still quite expensive, but what was it before? Times 20, it was 4 billion ISK. I mean, come on, it's come down a significant amount. What's that, 60%? So I'm not complaining there. Things are a lot cheaper. If you have a couple of billion ISK, what they want to waste, then feel free, just waste it on that. It'll probably go down a little bit more. Just hold off on buying it. Let's see if Netease reduces it any further after realising we're not buying it. Anyway, let's move along. So optimization optimized the description of sentry drones and damage control units, among other items, and a few bug fixes. Yeah, so that's what we got Wednesday this week. And why don't we now move along to the anniversary celebration Q&A that Netease did. So again, let's head over to reader mode, just to make it a little bit easier to work with this particular format. So, gathering the Milky Way, yeah. Just going to grab a quick drink before my throat dries up. So, week 1. So, I'm skipping ahead here, aren't I? That's what my brain does. So, question: when does Anniversary Ceremony 2024 start? What new content does it include? Ordinarily, I'd just refer you to last week's video, but never mind. For some reason, people are still watching that video despite the fact that none of it happened. Which is weird. It's my second best performing video at the moment. In fact, the only video that's doing better than it is the Metroid one, which I really didn't expect to take off. That's just me comparing two different methods of playing the same game. But anyway, it's doing well. Let's see how far that video goes. So week 1. So this is spread out across multiple weeks. So we've got the 7-day time limited login rewards. That's what I discussed earlier. We have the 4-week event with trading taxes, increased loot from defeating enemies, and the increased planetary mining output. We have the Waste Seekers, whereby the Waste Seeker stuff is more readily available. We have the registration page for Voyage Ceremony. Most of this we've already covered. Distribute anniversary blessing emails and rewards. Is that something we've already had? Yes, we have already had that. 1 million skill points, according to what I'm seeing here. Yeah, this is like the least technical way of doing things right now. I haven't had the time to set up properly, I'm afraid, guys. But there we go. Hopefully that wasn't too blurry. So yeah, we've had those. Permanently activate the insurance order bonus event. Permanently activate. I'm not sure what's going on here. So where both free insurance points and paid insurance points can generate market orders, increasing the market demand for ships and equipment. Ah, okay. I see what's going on here. So historically, whenever we've had events that have involved insurance, all they've done is just turned off a toggle that says the market cannot use gift IP. And they've just gone, you know what, let's just leave that toggle permanently on. It was an event toggle before, we're just going to leave it on because the market needs a bit more consumption. That's my understanding here. And if that's the case, that's a good thing, because if gift IP are starting to take minerals off of the market, that means the value of ores start going up, which is good for miners because, there's increased demand for things. So I'm not going to complain there. We need more demand for these resources in the game. So next up, we have permanently reduced the prices of all items in the ISK Exchange store, except for Amethyst Cones. Again, we've already discussed that one. And that's the only thing they're not going to want to get cheaper because, let's be honest, we need to cut down on the amount of AI that there is in the game at the moment. So moving on to week 2, which we haven't had yet. So this is a few days out. And thankfully, this isn't in the realm of speculation or translation. All of this, I would presume, fingers crossed here, touching a lot of wood. I've got a lot of wood around me, even the wardrobe. So, yeah. So they're committed to this, I presume. I presume they're committed to this, but let's see. So start the event of Verge of Silence and the events point store. Now, if I recall, and I'm going by memory here, the Verge of Silence is that instanced thing where you click a button and you move into like another realm, another dimension, another area, another region, whatever it may be. And you do it from the station. You just dock up, hit the event page, and you appear in space somewhere else. And you just sit around all day, is basically it. There's like one area where you just sit around, and the people who sit around the longest get the most points. And another area where you actually have to shoot at stuff. And it's so heavily camped that everything dies in like 15 seconds. Yeah, it's not the most exciting of events. And people literally just tend to go to the safe zone, find somewhere nice and safe, cloak up, hope nobody decloaks them, and just come back in half an hour's time, maybe 4 hours' time, see if they're still accruing points. It's not the most exciting of events. Hopefully they made a few changes this time around, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So open the anniversary store, including the new Celebration Series nanocores, and special price development items. What the hell does special price development items mean? Time will tell on that one. The core features and bonuses for shield and armor damage, and defense bonuses for major faction with no special mode. I'm not going to pretend to understand what that means. We're going to have to wait on that bit. It's just that it's like an AI word salad. If you asked ChatGPT to just hype up an event for Eve Echoes, that's something I'd expect. Let's move along. Start the event called Regional Development, where purchasing any item has a chance to receive various prizes, including implant option boxes and new Celebration Series nanocores. That's the second time Celebration Series nanocore's been mentioned. I'm curious to see what these are going to be. Is it just going to be the regular anniversary nanocores, like the golden ones that are absolutely ugly? I can't remember. So, let's see. Activate the formation editing function, and our customer service will communicate with Corporation CEO about matters related to the Void Ceremony. Okay, so that's just a scheduling thing. There's nothing special going on whatsoever there. Let's move on to week 3. Boy oh boy is my throat drying up quick this week. It's a shame it's going to be a really long video, hey? So, week 3. This seems to be going into the region of stuff I was talking about last week. So, open moon drilling construction and related technologies at the same time. There will be some adjustments to Corporation Tech planning to open level 5. Launch new modules, launch new types of ships, those being destroyers and faction battleships. This is something I was thinking about yesterday. Can I have a new faction Bolgorn. You know how, like, you've got the new faction Ashimu? Or is there one actually for the Ashimu? I think there is. Can't remember the name of it if there is. But anyway, I was thinking, why can't we have a new batch of faction battleships? Someone's been reading my mind. Someone has been reading my mind here. So, faction battleships, new ones on the way. Knowing Netease, it's most likely going to be, just a reskin. Just a reskin of existing faction battleships with the skills tuned up so that you need a higher skill level. I'm interested to see what these will be. I will most likely be getting one related to the Bolgorn. Although that said, we might get one for the Nightmare as well. Nightmares are quite popular at the moment. That might be like the go-to one. The Nightmare equivalent, that is. The Nightmare 2 or whatever they end up calling it. Let's move along. Initiate ongoing balance adjustments to existing ships, modules, implants, etc. Okay, so another round of balance adjustments. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Notice how implants are included. So we're probably, if I had to guess, we're going to see another nerf of some kind to the focus crystal because that is still so overly used. It's ridiculous. As long as certain implants like the focus crystal, I'm going to use lasers as an example here because that's my thing. You've got the focus crystal and the pulse crystal for lasers. The focus crystal is used like 90% of the time. And Netease is probably going to keep on tweaking things here and there, making one better, making one worse, until they get closer to a 50-50 divide. It won't be an exact 50-50 divide. They might settle at 70-30 with 30% using pulse crystal. But they're going to be probably tweaking these things to try and get people to start using other things, because there's no point them programming into the game like 12 or however many implants there are if we're only going to use 4. Let's be honest. So yeah, there's that. Let's move along. Corporation formation, motto and participant data, and conduct data verification. Voyage ceremony stuff. Let's not speculate on that. Week 4. Open the first Faction War event gameplay long term. Is this Faction War Games? Is this Faction War Games? So we finally get in Faction War Games. This is going to be interesting. Through this gameplay, you can improve your rank and gain loyalty points. This is Faction War Games. The rank is the same as the rank in simulated battle, but can be upgraded to a higher level through Faction Wars. Can be upgraded to a higher level through Faction Wars. So it's not replacing the simulated battle, which is what we access when we're docked up in station at the moment. This is an addition to it, and it's a faction war. Subsequent optimizations will continue to be made to this gameplay, and more Faction War series gameplay will be introduced. So we've got new faction battleships coming, and we have what is being described to us as Faction War, or Faction War Games. Yeah, Faction Warfare, whatever the word is. I'm curious now. I am curious. I want to see whatever these Faction War Games are. Just show us today. Just give us like a gameplay trailer or something. Surely you can do that, Netease. Give us a gameplay trailer so we actually know what to expect. So updated the loyalty point store, adding new modules and blueprints, and removing unpopular items. Okay, so they're going to actually give us an incentive as well, a proper incentive to actually want these loyalty points. So best thing to do right now, guys, if you're sitting on a stockpile of loyalty points and you've been just re-rolling them to get a good drone or something to sell in Cheetah, hold off. Hold off, okay? Because new toys are coming. New toys are coming. There's probably going to be the new... if I was Netease, these new faction battleships, now that I know about the Faction War Games, I wouldn't make them like faction Bolgorns. I'd make something else, you know, something specific to your typical factions, Galente, Amar, Caldari and Minmatar. I'd have them like that, so that you could unlock them through this Storefront. I don't know. That said, they're probably just going to go with the pirates anyway and just make those unlockable through this storefront. But anyway, hold a voyage ceremony is the next thing they've mentioned. Again, we're not going to cover that. So, that's the structure for the next 4 weeks. We've not even had a proper question and answer yet. So, let's get on to that. Why is the opening time of this year's anniversary... tongue twisters, wow. Oh, if you like these tongue twisters, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, because there's going to be a fair few of them in this video and the videos to come. Oh dear. Good place to put the subscribe and like plug, eh? Let's try that again. Under normal circumstances, the start time of the anniversary celebration event is around the 10th of August. That is when the actual anniversary for the game is. This year, due to adjustments in the development plan, we have cancelled a play system under development that combines research and development with various functional components. This was like the T3 cruisers, as we were discussing, the tactical ships, which was like frigates, cruisers and destroyers. This has affected other gameplay and activities to some extent, likely because it was all tied together in like very loose ways. So the start time will be slightly delayed as they untether that unfinished system. As a result, we were providing server-wide compensation and benefits. I believe we've probably already had these. So expected distribution, 1 million skill points, 10 million Lazarus units, 100 Ascension neural compilers. I'm just pulling it up on my phone and comparing it against the anniversary blessings notification, 100 nanites and 100 amethyst cones, and a medal. It's not mentioned the medal here, but there's also a medal. If I actually hold this, there we go. So we've already had all of those. If you've not logged in yet this week, grab it before it expires. I don't know when it expires, but 1 million skill points. It's worth grabbing. So, what will happen if there are problems during the voyage ceremony event? And this is a legitimate question because we have had problems before during the voyage ceremony event. I don't recall the exact details of them because I was barely paying attention last year. But, yeah. Needless to say, this is a legitimate question. First of all, Concord sincerely thanks pilots for your active participation and steadfast support in this voyage ceremony. I'm going to skip the fluff piece. Experienced clones know that any carefully planned event may face unforeseen challenges. Yeah, where's the good stuff? I don't want to read this entire thing verbatim. So, we solemnly promise that if unforeseen circumstances arise that require the event to be suspended, the preparation team will take immediate action. First, the pilot's data will be restored, and second, the exciting moments of the event will be made into a video and uploaded to YouTube for everyone to review. Third, all registration fees for participating corporations will be fully refunded. At the same time, high compensation rewards will be given to members of corporations who are unable to participate in the event due to unexpected in-game situations. Okay, so if you actually apply for that event, that's what you can expect. If the ceremony can be successfully held, the joy of this success will be shared with all pilots on the server, and additional rewards will be prepared for all pilots on the server to thank everyone for their enthusiastic participation in watching ships fly in a straight line and contribution to the gaming community. I like how this is worded. I mean, the odds are we're going to be getting whatever these rewards are, these additional rewards that they're talking about in this last paragraph anyway. But it'd be interesting if the event saw unforeseen technical issues, got cancelled, and then because it wasn't successfully held, these rewards didn't get distributed. It'd just be completely bizarre. It'd be just like, just give us the stuff. You know, just include it as compensation. Yeah, it is interesting wording, that one. So, Netease are expecting it to fail. Okay, that's probably the best take from that. I mean, they won't be expecting it to fail, but they are prepared for it to fail with a big fat red compensation button because they're probably not going to be able to fix it. Not if we want proper gameplay stuff fixing at the same time. But anyway, that rounds off this week's video. Bloody hell. Coming up on 30 minutes. Already had 30 minutes, actually. Yeah, this is a long video. So, let us know what you think about the Q&A and the patch notes and the stuff that we've got coming up in the future. Do you think that this event is going to go off without a hitch? What do you expect is going to happen? And do you believe that the event, the name of which I've already forgotten the name of, is actually going to be updated slightly and made ever so slightly more exciting? What is it called? Where's the event? What's the event? The Verge of Silence. Do you actually think the Verge of Silence will be exciting this time around? Or is it a copy-paste from last time around? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you enjoy listening to me get caught on tongue twisters that I'm too lazy to edit out, then hit that subscribe button. And let's see how long it takes to get to 1000. Anyway, until the next video, guys and gals, fly casual in New Eden.